Okay. Not as well as I could be, to be honest, yeah. But nonetheless, this timely adoption by the Security Council through its presidential statement just now is very much welcome by the government of Indonesia. Obviously, we have received several expressions by many governments of condolence and support to Indonesia's efforts in dealing with this heinous act, and to have this afternoon such a timely expression of support and confidence by the Security Council is a source of great appreciation by the government of Indonesia.
Ambassador, what indications does your government have at this point as to which group is responsible, and are you, strongly suspect Jemaah Islamiyah?
Well, if there's anything that we have learned from past experience in dealing with similar cases, is the importance of proceeding based on facts and in a very deliberate way. Indonesia have a good record in bringing perpetrators of such acts to justice. As you recall, we had the Bali bombing in 2002, and the perpetrators have been brought to trial, to justice. And similarly, in this instance as well, I think as the President has said in his statement, we are not going to speculate at this juncture who the possible perpetrators are, and really do the good old-fashioned policing work, let our authorities work in a diligent manner to find the perpetrators. Let me assure you one point. These people who perpetrated these heinous acts, they may be able to try to run, but they cannot hide, and the long reach of the law will reach them, and they will be brought to justice. And that Indonesian government looks forward very much to the support of the international community in this endeavor. Yeah.
On that, Mr. Ambassador, what could the UN system do? Do you expect, is there any, whether the 1267 committee or any UN body that you would ask to be helping in this?
Well, the trick is always to find synergies. You have various instruments at the global level through the United Nations system. There is the efforts at the national level, bilateral, and also regional levels. So we move in a multi-pronged way. Of course, the principal responsibility rests with the Indonesian government, and that's why, as I said before, we are working very hard to achieve progress on this. But all the UN system will be there, I'm sure, behind us to be in synergy with our efforts. Let me mention also our appreciation to the statement by the Secretary General just now, I think through his spokesperson. We very much appreciate his statement, appreciate his confidence in the government of Indonesia's ability to bring the perpetrators to justice, and this is a source of great appreciation to us.
Just after a lull of almost like 6 years, they did it in Bali and then now over here. What happened? Suddenly Jemaah Islamiyah has become so strong?
Well, I guess you haven't heard that much from Indonesia over the past 5 or 6 years, because we have been precisely successful in foiling terrorist attacks, in disrupting the terrorist network. As you know, some of the principals behind the Bali bombing have been brought to justice. I mentioned just now, I think 2 of them have actually received capital punishment and the death sentence, and others are serving long life sentences. So that lack of information or development opportunity is precisely due to our success. But of course, we as a government, we have to be successful all the time to foil such attacks. But these people who commit such heinous acts, they have to be successful only once to see the kind of impact that we are now seeing. But you can be assured, once again, as I said before, these people will be brought to justice, the people behind these such heinous acts, and that the Indonesian government will be looking forward to working with our friends and the international community in dealing with this.
Ambassador, how likely is it you feel this attack relates to the recent election?
Well, the President has said, and as I tried to echo just now as well, that it's best not to speculate about what is behind these things, because it's best to proceed in a very deliberate and very careful manner. So I don't think it's helpful to connect it with any other political development. Certainly, as a concept in general, as we have said before, this is nothing less an attack against our democracy, because nothing can be more undemocratic than killing people, innocent visitors to our country. And that's why, if there is any relevance to elections, it's to do with the generic fact that this is an attack against democracy, and for that I think we are happy to have our council members supporting us in our efforts.
Can I ask you one other Indonesian Security Council question?
Sure.
It was reported that an Indonesian parliament passed something about the events in Western China, the Uyghur Xinjiang region, somehow asking for an inquiry. Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of it.
What is Indonesia's, position on those events?
Well, this is obviously unrelated to the developments
I
today,
understand.
but certainly we have been following developments as others have, I'm sure. But essentially, this is a matter to be addressed by the authorities in China, by the Chinese government, and what we are seeing basically is